Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the podcast, the Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Vince, the Evil Dungeon Master. Hopefully you're doing well today. It is Thursday of the week. Time for a new podcast. But first, head to theevildm.com for my website to check out everything I'm doing and subscribe to the blog. That way, when I post something up, such as a podcast, it'll go straight to your inbox and you can open it up, click on it, and not have to worry about finding what's going on. A lot of people are liking that. People are signing up, so I do appreciate that. And leaving comments and liking the stuff that we're doing. You can support me by going to youtube.com/evilDM and signing up there for 99 cents a month to become a member. Spotify, you can do it there. Or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/evilDM if you want to make a one-time donation. Anything is appreciated. Now that we got all the... Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Now that we got all the commercial stuff and all that crap out of the way, let's head into today's topic. Today's topic has been brought to you by a listener of mine named William. He reached out to me on my Facebook page under the Evil Dungeon Master on Facebook. And he said he wanted me to look at the Unearthed Arcana, and on page 103, is a magic item that he wanted me to go over called the Shoes of Fharlanghn. I had to look up how to pronounce that because I wasn't sure at first how it was pronounced, just based off the word. But if you turn to page 103 at the very top on the left-hand side, under miscellaneous magical item, we have these low, thick-soled shoes are so durable and tough that they never wear out. I wish shoes of modern day would be like that. Better still, the individual shoe in this footgear will never... the individual shod in this footgear will never grow fatigue from walking, being able to easily maintain a pace of 20 to 30 miles per day. So you can go a pretty good distance if you were doing a hex crawl and you were one of those people that have these shoes on. So you can travel 20 to 30 miles per day and definitely get through, depending on how big the hexes were. At least, I think one is 30-something miles, depending on what size hex. So this is a great thing to actually have, especially if you're not going to get tired from walking at just a normal pace. I like this. If the wearer is of neutral or neutral good alignment, the following additional benefits are gained. So I'm guessing it's just true neutral or neutral good alignment. Because when they mention neutral, then they say or good. Because if it was neutral evil, they would have said just any of the neutral. I don't know. We'll see. Again, another item that's based off alignment. Gary liked to put in these alignment-based items. The wearer will never trip, step into a snare or pit, or become entangled. Interesting. The owner of these shoes enables the wearer to climb up or down hills, even those with a 45-degree angle, without effort. So you put these shoes on, you don't trip, you don't get snared in pits or traps, and you can't become entangled. I would assume, since it's in italics, it means to spell entangled or being entangled in anything. And you can climb up and down steep 45-degree angles without efforts. Interesting. The wearer will also be sure-footed as to be able to walk along narrow ledges or slippery logs without fear of slipping or mishaps. So now you can walk across a beam, or if you're in a lumberjack contest and you're doing the log thing, the water, you could easily do it for hours on end and nobody will even be the wiser, unless they figure out you're wearing these weird shoes. Should the person shod actually be worshiper of Fharlanghn, then he or she will get the following additional benefits. So not only that, you have to be neutral or neutral good, and you have these shoes on, you get benefits if you are worshiping the actual god himself. Becoming lost is impossible for the wearer. Nothing walking on the earth can surprise you. The wearer can run at 18 inches movement rate and jump horizontally 20 feet in the air. Climbing vertical surfaces is done as if the wearer were a 10th level thief. Wow. Whenever there is earth, including dust, sand, or mud, the wearer can tread as if he were on a smooth roadway surface. Well, at least a dozen pairs of these magical item shoes are known to exist in treasure troves. So, what can we do with this magical item? I mean, it would be good for someone that's going to go on a trek. Uh, it's an interesting item that's based off of more so off alignment and being worshiping a certain god. Looking this item up on the chart on page 88 under table 3E7, we see the shoes are worth 2,000 experience points and 20,000 gold if you were selling it, or the black market value or the market value. Doesn't necessarily mean someone will pay 20,000, but it can get upwards of 20,000 gold. Interesting magical item that's based off of a god, and I think it's really interesting to use. I don't know if I would keep the abilities locked up like that when it comes to the actual worshiping the deity. I don't know. I mean, I get they're the shoes of a certain god worshiper, but maybe unlocking it. I don't know. I like to just kind of talk it out sometimes when we discuss these magical items. And yeah, if they were made in the honor of the god or the deity himself, then yeah, it probably should be listed as such. But it's an interesting magical item. I would say I would have no problem giving this out. Even the chances of a player character worshiping this one god is probably going to be 0. And I would probably change it if it was my campaign to one of the gods in my campaign. That way, there's a better chance that the player character would be worshiping, because there's a lot of powers in this that's just locked up based on a god. So yeah, I would probably change this for my campaign. If I was playing default Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and we were using all these books, the core book, Unearthed Arcana, was free to the players and they didn't pick this god but got these shoes, well, what are you going to do? You get these abilities, buddy. If you're not neutral, you don't get these abilities. If you're not neutral good, you don't get these abilities. But, hey, you know what? You can walk 20 to 30 miles a day without being tired. And that in itself is probably worth the actual item. So that's why I would have no problem giving this item out. And a player character will probably find it boring, but if they're not going to get any blisters and they can keep pushing on with no problem, they're probably going to be happy with that. It's one of those magical items you look at and you go, huh, all right, cool. But then you haven't unlocked the rest of it. So, question to everyone out there: when the player character gets, or the character gets identified, these shoes as, what do I want to say here? The character identifies these shoes of the Shoes of Fharlanghn, and he all of a sudden sees all the benefits of it being under that one god, and he decides he wants to worship that god because he wants those abilities for the shoes. Now, how would you handle that in your game? Obviously, when you convert to a certain religion or something, it's not overnight. It takes time. How much time are you going to impose on the character to become a follower or worshiper of Fharlanghn? I would say it would probably take weeks in game, of the character walking around and reading, say, the equivalent of that god's Bible, and then he has to go around proving it to people by preaching it. Not as a cleric would do or a priest would do, but he should at least bring it up and talk about how worshiping this god is wonderful and see if he can get other people to see his way of thinking. And then after that, I would allow him to be the worshiper of that god. I'm not just going to say, hey, you worship that god, boom, check mark, done, and you get the magical abilities. No, I think you have to work at it in the campaign, to be honest. I don't know. I want to hear what you people out there think about that as the DM. What will be your call on this when it comes to this magical item? I really want to know in the comments. Please head over to youtube.com and /EvilDM, where this video is, and comment away there. You can always send me an email at askthedm@evilDM.com. You can comment on my website, theevildm.com, or you can even go to Spotify and drop me a comment there as well. I really want to know how other people would handle this situation. With that said, I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless. Remember, no drama, no clickbait, all gaming here on this channel, nothing else. Good night, everybody.